The following is an excerpt from The History of the Rangers, The Early Years, by Carl Allard, 2087, Allard Press, Ranger Center, hardbound page 293, $20 gold. Tensions grew with the coming of 1998. The United States Citadel Star Station was slated to be fully operational by March. Soviet charges that the space station was merely a military launching platform alarmed a number of non-aligned nations. 2 weeks before Citadel was due for full operation, the station transmitted a distress signal. Immediately after the message was sent, most of the satellites orbiting the planet were swept clean from the sky, leaving the great powers blind. In military panic, each sent their nuclear arsenals skyward. On that day, a company of U.S. Army engineers were in the southwestern deserts, building transportation bridges over dry riverbeds near a newly constructed federal prison for criminals condemned to death. The engineers took over the prison and expelled the inmates into the desolate desert to complete their sentences. The company soon realized that communities beyond the desert's grip had also survived, and felt compelled to help these other survivors rebuild and live in peace. Toward this end, the Desert Rangers, in the great tradition of the Texas and Arizona Rangers a century before, were born. The prison, which came to be known as Ranger Center, grew to be one of the strongest outposts in the wasteland. The Desert Ranger badge of authority, the Ranger Star, is one you wear. New orders await, and with them, your adventure in the wasteland begins. After several strategy meetings with the leader of the Desert Rangers, General Sergru, you've been assigned to investigate a series of disturbances in the desert. You've been ordered to search for clues in High Pool, the Agricultural Center, and the Rail Nomads Camp, all of which are located to the west of Ranger Center.
You've come upon the Rail Nomads Camp. Ornery-looking longhorn cattle wander among dusty tents from which sullen faces peer. In the background, a ramshackle collection of railroad cars, patched with wood, hide, and an odd piece of corrugated aluminum, sits on a rail siding. Two of the cars, the locomotive at the front and the caboose at the rear, appear to be in better condition than the others. As you approach, a strained silence falls over the camp, and you grow uncomfortable under the collective gaze of the assembled nomads. Finally, one of the nomads steps forward. "Welcome, Rangers. I am the brakeman of this train. I'd be honored if you would visit me in the caboose before leaving our camp. In the meantime, please accept our hospitality." The brakeman turns and strides back into the camp. As you pass the open doorway of this car, you're almost overcome by the strong odor of fermented cactus fruit. As your eyes become accustomed to the darkness of the car, you can make out a straw-colored floor littered with numerous bottles of Dr. B. Bilios Balfour's snake squeezins. At the back of the car lolls a rotund, bearded figure, rocking back and forth as if the mere act of sitting offered a difficult feat of balance. Finally, seeming to take notice of you, the shadowy figure issues an invitation. "Welcome to my humble abode, gentlefolk. Step on in."